Hello, students. Good morning to one and all. From today onwards, we are going to understand the human resource management specialization subject, which is talent and knowledge management. So, you know very well, I have finished first unit in the college, and now we are continuing with the second unit because of this unexpected pandemic situation through online. What is that? Competence and performance management. Earlier we came to know what do you mean by talent management. Understand? Actually, the talent management is the advancement in the human resource management. Earlier, the people wants to understand that the area which controls human resources as a personal management. So under personal management, generally recruitment and as well as what to call compensation kind of activities used to be conducted. That one again formed and developed into human resource management. So under HR, the scientists focused more on performance appraisal and as well as a training and development. Now the third level is talent management. So under talent management, besides above all activities, what we learn, we focus on career management and as well as leadership development. So you know very well the talent management is nothing but the strategic management of flow of talent through an organization. What is a talent actually? Talent is nothing but the outstanding aptitude. Okay. So every employee will have some kind of talent. So the talent is going to be useful to excel in the professional life. So what is the purpose of the talent management is nothing but to increase the overall performance of the organization. And also the talent management makes the organization to become more adaptive and dynamic. Because as you know very well, in the present world, the situations are becoming more unexpected. Nobody knows in the next minute what kind of changes would be there. So more dynamic. So in these uncertain situations, the talent management is going to give the capacity, the ability to adapt to what you call the existing conditions. Okay. So in this talent management, now we are going to discuss the actual importance of the competency. So that becomes competency and performance management. So what do you mean a competency? What do you mean a competency model? How to measure the competency? All these things we need to understand. Remember that without competency, the talent management is going to what is called unused. It's like having a beautiful house without any furniture. So house is there, beautifully constructed, state of the art building is there, great architecture is there, but required furniture is not available. The things which actually useful to fulfill the basic needs of the people who are going to live in that particular house are not there. Then what is the purpose of having all the walls and windows, doors, isn't it? So competency is nothing but just like a furniture to any house or a home. Okay. So competency is nothing but the mix of the knowledge, the skill, and as well as the behaviors. The knowledge, skill, and behaviors, okay, which actually drives the organization to reach to its set objectives. Okay, what do you mean knowledge here? The knowledge is nothing but the information about on any particular thing. A locomotive driver cannot, fly the aeroplane. Aeroplane can be what you called fly by a pilot only, because pilot is having what you called the knowledge about to fly the flight aeroplane. Understand? A teacher cannot become a police. Same way, a police personnel cannot have the skills of a teacher. So what you call this is called the knowledge. Understand? What do you mean knowledge? Information about it any particular field. Same way, what do you mean skills? Skills is nothing but the ability to perform the task. A professional cyclist would be there. He will be cycling for kilometers together. He is his skill, physical ability. Understand? A dentist would be there. He is going to fill the gap without what you called disturbing the nervous system in the mouth, isn't it? So what you call that the skill. And the behaviors. Behaviors are nothing but what the way is going to what you called takes the conditions, the prevailing conditions about any situation, explains behavior. Understand? The set of these three things are considered as the competencies. For becoming a good student, this competency is required. The skill, the knowledge, and as well as the behaviors. To become a manager, these sets are important. These what you called things in that particular what you called abilities are important. Like what is that? Skill, knowledge, and as well as the behaviors. The main purpose of the competency is nothing but which drives the company, which drives the what you call the managerial area to take the good decisions and as well as what you call finally make to raise the company to its set objectives. What is its importance? Without competency, the talent management become what you call useless. Okay. So let us see what are the things. So talent management function without competency models is like a house without furniture. Just now I told you. Okay. The purposeful weapons are required, isn't it? The kind of weapons are nothing but what the competencies for any military artillery. The competencies are knowledge, skill, traits, and behaviors that workers use to do their jobs. Okay. So there are some 10 to 30 competencies are there, like listening skills will be there, writing skills will be there, overall communication skills will be there, interpersonal skills will be there, decision making skills will be there, like 10 to 30 skills are there. For any person to become a good employee, what is required to become mastery in all these competencies are important. When the interviews are going on, the selection board is going to test these skills only. How far the candidate is going to be competent for the job which is required. The competency modeling is a valid and systematic approach for selecting the right competencies. So under competency modeling, what you are doing, we are having a systematic plan, a systematic approach in order to have the selection of the right candidate for any job. Clerical jobs would be there, decision making jobs would be there, skillful jobs would be there. All these selections are going to be based upon what we call the competencies. Always remember that the competencies development is a perennial which never be going to be discontinued. It's always going to be continuous. And finally, the competencies development helps in achieving the organization goals. Maybe making good profit, maybe increment in the job sector, maybe venturing into other nations, isn't it? All these are all going to be different kinds of organizational goals. Finally, to achieve all these organizational goals, what is required? Competency is required. So in this competency, the competency gap is going to be very, very important. What is that gap? So under competency gap, what will be there? The actual required competencies matched with the candidates who are having the already few kinds of competencies. If both are matched, then it is okay. Then if at all any mismatch is taking place, that gap will be understanding. And the gap is going to be fulfilled, narrowed down by going giving appropriate training and development programs. This competency gap. The competencies required for a particular position are identified, and these competencies are compared with the competencies possessed by the employees. The gap found in this measurement is known as the competency gap. As you know very well, any aspirant cannot be going to be 100% fit to any employment. Understand? Overall way, when selection process is going on, the selectors will be looking at the minimizing this competency gap. Young generation, youth will be asked for getting into army. Understand? They will be test their physical strength, the mental ability. If the army recruiters feels that yes, people are suitable for these army jobs, then they are going to pick those few candidates and they are giving the training to them in order to fill that gap. Understand? So this competency gap? The already required competencies for any job compared with the competencies already with the aspirant, candidate. Understand? So these are the few of the behaviors which are actually required to develop the competencies. Without these minimum behaviors, the candidate will not be selected. So in simple words, competence is a measurable characteristic feature which can change the performance level of an employee in an assigned job. Some behaviors which are essential for any effective performance levels are communication skills, hard skills or soft skills, whatever may be. This is a modern day mantra to get success anywhere. Understand? It's a mix of so many other things like listening skills will be there, writing skills will be there, communicating skills would be there. Okay, if you are effective through your communication, your job is going to be get done. Understand? Hence, the communication skills are going to be very, very important. Unluckily, most of the candidates are lack of these communication skills, which can be developed through the practice only. Innovative thinking skills. Always thinking innovatively about the problems. Always identifying new approaches, novel approaches to get the solution of the problem. Such a kind of ability actually very essential when you are selecting any candidate for few kinds of posts, because the future is completely uncertain. We cannot have the for every time fixed solutions for any situation. Solution is what we called required according to the existing problem. This ability actually going to be useful. What is that? Innovative thinking skill or leadership. Always this ability is more important again to lead the group. Much more risk taking ability. Achievement orientation, drive, passion to accomplish goals. Few kinds of people exhibit these qualities. If they start any kind of work, understand, with a passion they start, and finally at any cost they want to have the result of what you called in that particular situation. What to call these kinds of behavior? Achievement orientation. So ability to make business decisions like negotiation skills will be there. Self-determination, analytical ability, interpersonal skills, tactical thinking. What is tactical thinking? Immediate result. Quick fix, what to call solution for any existing problem. So these are the few behaviors which are very much essential for the development of the competencies. Remember, what are competencies? Skills, knowledge, behaviors, sometimes traits also will be considered. So for these four development, what is required? These skills are required. So these are the few skills especially required for the what you call the people who are occupied the decision making positions, manager level positions, superiors leaders. Understand? Communication skills. They must be effective the way they communicate the problem, the way they communicate the situation, the way they communicate with the employees to get done the work. Most important. So convincing skills are very, very important, which are the part and parcel of the communication skills. Always the superior leaders have setting goals kind of what excuse me, competencies. Goals might be short term, within 1 week, within 1 day, or else long term, after 1 year, after 5 years. But remember that the goal should be realistic, should be achievable, should be motivating, should be comfortable for the employees who are working under the what to call the leaders. And they should know how to measure the employees' performance. There are different kinds of methods are there, like qualitative kind of, quantitative kind of methods. But that method should be more effective, should give the transparent information about the employee's performance. And they should have the ability to give the feedback at the right time, at the right moment in order to motivate the employees to understand his loopholes in order to develop. That is most important. Coaching and developing. This is one more important competency required for superiors. Based on the situation, they should coach them. They should improve the ability of those what you call the subordinates, lower rank employees. And finally, recognizing if any employee exhibits extraordinary performance in front of other people in the board meeting. It is also a very, very essential quality. Because of that, what happens, the employee is going to have more motivation levels. See, motivation is a very, very important ingredient for any employee to deliver his performance. So what are these? These are the important competencies required for people who are in the highest posts, like superiors would be there, leaders would be there. So these are the methods which actually allows us to identify the key competencies, like key traits, key behaviors, am I right? Key knowledge level and key skill set. The first one is interviews, talking with the employees. So what do you mean interview? Interview is nothing but a structured conversation. Here, one-on-one, the people indulge in conversation. So because of word, the communication skill will be what you called observed. Group discussions. Here the people will be sharing their opinions, views with others. So intelligence tests. What do you mean intelligence test? Nothing but series of tasks to measure capacity to make abstractions, learn and react to a novel situations. Novel situations. Assessment methods, psychometric tests, simulation exercises, syndicate methods, personal observation. So these are few key competencies identification methods. Now we'll discuss what are the actual characteristics of the competencies. Motives, traits, self-concept, skills. Motives. Without any motive, we cannot perform any kind of activity, remember. To pursue MBA, what should be our motive? We have to settle down in the future. To take up a business, a strong motive is required. It's like an ingredient which motivates to react for the situation. So always motives directs, if it shows the direction, based upon the selection would be there, that means choosing the right path, and after doing that we will be moving in that particular way. That's why motives are going to be a very, very important characteristics of for any competency. Traits. Everybody will have different kinds of traits. All physical characteristics. Height, intelligence, weight, all this comes under what we call physical features. Self-concept. So internally, what is the attitude, image, the values towards what we call work exhibition comes under what we call self-concept. This is a one more very, very important, characteristic of a competency. Knowledge, information about any specific content. A surgeon would be there. You know very well the entire nerve system. Based on that, carefully is going to what to call operate on any patient's ailment, surgery. The final one, skills, ability to perform a task. A piece of wooden will be given to a carpenter. Through his skill, he is going to convert into a what you call a different kind of furniture, skill set. So these are all what you call the characteristics of the competency. Again, types of the competencies: behavioral competencies, technical competencies, national vocational qualification competencies, Scottish national vocational qualification, isn't it? So various types of competencies: behavioral competencies, technical competencies, national vocational qualification competencies, Scottish National Vocational Qualification competencies. So now I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we will continue. Thank you so much.